Why do we always think we can fix people? Seriously. Not strangers, I'm talking about people we actually care about. A friend, someone you're dating, maybe even someone in your family. The second they're going through something, it's almost like your brain gets involved without asking you first. You start thinking about what you'd do if you were in their position. Then you start thinking about what you could say. Somehow you're sitting there at midnight trying to solve a problem that isn't even yours. The thing is, it feels completely normal when you're doing it. Nobody ever stops you and goes, yo, hang on, why am I carrying this around? You just do. I think that's because caring and responsibility are easy to mix up. If you care about somebody, you naturally want things to get better for them. That part makes sense. The problem starts when you're quietly convincing yourself that whether they get better depends on you. I don't even think that's an ego thing. I think most of us just hate watching people we love make choices that hurt them. You see them stay in a relationship that's obviously making them miserable. You watch them waste opportunities. You hear the same complaints every couple of weeks. Eventually, your brain starts trying to connect the dots. There has to be something I'm missing. If I explain it differently, maybe it'll finally click. It's almost like you're trying to solve a puzzle, except the puzzle belongs to somebody else. That's the part I never understood. Why was I treating another person's life like it was my responsibility to figure out? I remember talking to someone once who kept coming to me with the same problem. I mean, not every day, not even every week, but often enough that eventually I realized something. I already knew how the conversation was gonna end, and they would tell me what happened. I'd listen. We'd talk about it for a while. They'd say they understood. We'd hang up. A little while later, we'd somehow end up back in exactly the same place. At first, I thought I was just not explaining myself very well. Then I started wondering if advice even mattered as much as I thought it did. Because if advice was enough, wouldn't all of us have our lives figured out by now? Think about your own life. How many things do you already know you should be doing? You don't need another video telling you to sleep more or spend less time on your phone or exercise or save money. You've probably heard of all that 100 of times. So why don't people change in the first time they hear good advice? Because information isn't usually the problem. Something else has to happen first. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like one day something just clicks. Not because somebody forced it to, not because somebody finally found the perfect words, you're just ready. And once I started thinking about that, I realized how unfair I'd been to myself, kept measuring my success by whether somebody else changed. That's an impossible standard. Imagine judging yourself based on decision another person makes. That sounds ridiculous when you say it out loud, but emotionally, people do it all the time. Someone ignores your advice, you wonder if you should have said something different. Someone keeps making the same mistake, you start replaying old conversations in your head. Could I have handled that better? Was I too harsh or soft? Meanwhile, the person actually making the decisions isn't spending nearly as much time thinking about it as you are. That realization hit me pretty hard. I cared so much that I ended up doing more emotional work than the person whose life I was worrying about. And that's kind of backwards. I think there's also this fear that if you stop trying, it means you stop caring. I don't think that's true anymore. Those two things aren't connected. You can care about someone and still accept that you don't control what they do next. You can love somebody and still admit that the next decision belongs to them. That doesn't make you cold, it doesn't make you selfish. It just means you finally accepted where your responsibility ends. And I think that's one of the hardest things to learn because it feels so much better believing that one more conversation will fix everything. Hope is addictive. It keeps you coming back, it keeps you waiting, it keeps you telling yourself that maybe next week will be different. Sometimes it is, a lot of times it isn't, and that's life. People don't always become who we believe they can be. Sometimes they surprise you in the best way possible, sometimes they don't. Neither outcome is something you get to choose. I used to think that this was a depressing way to look at it. Now I actually think it's kind of freeing. Because once you stop trying to control another person's life, you finally have enough energy to take care of your own. You stop replaying conversations, you stop feeling guilty, you stop treating every problem like it's your job to solve. And on top of that, you can still listen, you can still be there, and you can still tell someone the truth even if it's uncomfortable. None of that has changed, and the only thing that changes is this idea that the outcome rests on your shoulder, because it doesn't. It never did to begin with. Maybe that's what people really mean when they say you can't save everyone. Not that people aren't worth helping, not that you should stop caring, it's just that every person eventually reaches a point where next step is theirs to take. And if they don't, there isn't a speech, a text message, or a late night convo that's gonna do the walk for them. That's something they have to do themselves. I guess that's why this title is stuck with me. You can't save everyone. For the longest time, I heard that as an excuse to give up on people. I don't hear it that way anymore, and I hear it more as a reminder to do what you can, be honest, show up, but don't spend your life trying to carry someone else who's still deciding whether they even want to stand. Because if you keep doing that, you might wake up one day and realize the person you forgot to save was yourself.